So my name's Anna and I'm part of the Welcome Churches team and I work on the Welcome Homes project, and I'm going to be asking Stuart a couple of questions tonight. Hi Stuart.
Hi.
Lovely to have you here with us. So first of all, let's start with, why did you want to help Afghan refugees?
So I think I've got a mixture of my own personal motivations and what led our project to want to do something. Emily's already talked about the scriptural basis, so we're challenged to be welcoming to strangers and to aliens. There's also a bit of it for me, which is that in the case of Afghan refugees, often the reason they're fleeing their country and want to come here is because they've been working for the British forces or British aid organisations. So I kind of feel we have a responsibility. It would be shameful if we weren't doing something. There's also a streak in me that likes picking a fight, if you like. If part of British culture is going to be hostile to people from other countries and xenophobic, then I want to challenge that. I want to set a different example. The bit that's to do with our organisation is that we set up Dwell to crowdfund to buy houses in Oxford, which is a really expensive city. The first one was for a church worker. The second one was for a homelessness project. But the leader of our project, his day job is a fundraiser. And when he saw the Afghan airlift last summer, he said, this is the moment we should do something because the public are behind this and it's in the public eye. So there was a kind of cynical, if you like, opportunist part of it as well. It was a good time to do it.
Thanks, Stuart. So tell us a bit more about Dwell Oxford and what you've been doing. So you've housed 2 refugee families now. How did that happen? How did it come about? Who's involved? How long have they been involved? Yeah, just let us know a bit more about that.
So Dwell is essentially 4 people, though we draw in volunteers as well. So somebody who is an older gentleman who's really good on detail and a really good company secretary. We have a good treasurer. I've taken responsibility for the properties part of what we do. And then there's the guy who leads the project and chairs the meetings, who is a fundraiser. The project started because a church in a housing estate in one of the less well-off parts of Oxford wanted to employ a minister, and there was no logical way of being able to afford a house for the minister in a very expensive city. And the model we came up with was crowdfunding. So that's what we've repeated then for a homelessness project and the 2 Afghan families. So we have now housed 2 families. Each of them is mum, dad, and 3 children. We have a really good relationship with the city council. The city had committed to take 10 Afghan families and was looking for partners to provide properties. And the Home Office and the city fund Asylum Welcome to do a lot of the welcoming of the people and helping them register with doctors and get into the benefit system and that kind of thing. So we stuck to what we think we're good at, which is the providing the house and maintaining the house and doing the practical side. When I say crowdfunding, this is not people sending £5 in an envelope or making small donations online. We ran a video appeal in churches with an opportunity to come to an information evening. And I've sent Anna the details of those, if anybody wants them. We invited people to lend on the basis of low interest loans. So we were encouraging loans from £5,000 upwards in multiples of 1,000 for 5 or 10 years. And we were offering interest rates of 1, 2, or 3%. Most people came in saying they'd like 2%, but there are some at 3%, some at 1%. A small number of people said we don't need interest. We want to lend you the money. We eventually want the capital back, but we don't need the interest. And a small number of people said, we want to give you money, but it's a gift. It's not a loan, which obviously helps us. And then the economics work surprisingly well for an expensive city. That the rent that the city initially and now Universal Credit pay us for the houses exceeds the interest we have to pay out each month by about £700. So we have money for insuring the houses, for maintenance of the houses, and to start the fund that will eventually repay the capital. So that's the basis on which it works. If anyone has questions about any of those things, I'd be glad to answer them here or offline. That's where we're at.
Brilliant. So what does the future look like for the housing projects that you run?
So we've set all this up in about 2 years, and it's not been good for our health or our marriages. I think all four of us are agreed that we need to have some respite and digestion. So we're not about to rush to do this on a huge scale. The charitable company that we've set up is set up to do future projects using the same model, and it's set up to do them in Oxfordshire or any adjacent county, which I think is 5 counties, but it's not something that will happen in a hurry. We have a lot of goodwill. If people want to learn from what we've done, we're glad to do that, but I think we need to let the model run and demonstrate that it works, and just have everything running smoothly.
Yeah, brilliant. I think it's a well-deserved rest, like you said. And then lastly, if there's people on the call at the moment who are considering providing a home for a refugee family or launching a similar project, what kind of advice would you give to them?
So I think we're not the experts of working with refugee families. We've let people who've already got the experience do that. We have had a lot of contact with the families when we're decorating and fixing things and that kind of thing. The hospitality we've been offered is amazing. The technical side, how we funded it, we are very glad to work with people. We're not going to do it for them, but what we've learned the hard way, we're happy to share.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Stuart.